Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, the Friday afternoon Zoom edition. And Bitcoin has just been chopping around 20K, just dipped below. We had a nice move up earlier today with some good for the market, not so good for the public financial news. Something about in the US, unemployment was up, which makes the market happy because that means maybe the Fed will chill out on the quantitative tightening and raising of interest rates. If you followed that, then you might be understanding things better than I am. But regardless, we did have a pump up early today, but it gave most of it back. Let's go to the chart. Okay, you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. Can I get a yes? All right,
Yes.
well, thank you.
Yes.
Craig, you're my favorite yes man for that question.
Yeah,
Just for that question.
Just got to remember to turn the microphone on first.
Oh,
Same with me, Seed. Sorry about that.
all right. So in the future, I need one of you guys to speak up to make sure I'm not talking to a shared on a non-shared screen. So we still have the same range we've had for several weeks now. 24.4 on top, 18.8 on the bottom. I've got this alert here. I'm trying to catch something at 18.5 if we have a dump over the weekend. But we're towards the bottom of the range now, hanging around 20K. As you can see just below. We were a little bit over today. Go to my 5-minute chart. Yeah, we were up here early this morning when the announcement came out, 20,300, got as high as 20,440, and then it just cratered after that. Not sure if that was profit taking or just people, getting away for the long weekend. We have Labor Day coming up on Monday in the US, so most people are taking long weekends for that. But I'm not sure if a US holiday would have that much say over the weekend or over the markets. Maybe just a general weekend coming up. Volumes do tend to decrease on the weekend generally, but we've had some halfway decent weekends the last couple months, so we'll see. News wise, I was looking around a little bit earlier. Yeah, this is what I was talking here. Bitcoin, Ethereum jump after US jobs report 8 hours ago. I was reading a couple of these other ones, but nothing too earth-shattering, so I'm not going to point anything out at the moment. Ethereum is holding up a little better. There's some different viewpoints on whether the Ethereum merge coming up in the middle of the month, what kind of effect that will have, if that's already priced in, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing, or if that's going to cause additional pumping of Ethereum. Right now, we're in the middle of the range, which is essentially between 1,000 and just under 2,000 for Ethereum. We've been bouncing between 1,400 and 1,600 this week. So not much different since we got together on Monday. Any questions or comments about the overall markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, markets overall? Okay, so how do we trade this? We do have a holiday weekend coming up in the US. Tends to be lower volume. Should we be super cautious or super aggressive? Well, let's look at Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some potential trades, or at least some things to place some alerts on. Okay, I've got my Altcoin Alert set up here. Got the radar going. Easy mode is off. I want all the information. Got a lot more bullish AA scores, 70 and over. And I mentioned, I think last week, that I've lowered my standards a bit. So I used to look for 80 and above, but we haven't seen 80 on a AA score in several weeks. So drop that down to 70. And our friends at Altcoin Alert have made the system a little more sensitive. So we're seeing more AA scores over 70 in the bullish area. Actually, bullish is technically over 60, but 70 is what I'm looking for. So I looked at a couple of these earlier today, and Nano looked intriguing. So was actually looking at NEXO as well. Bring up Nano for the moment. Okay, it is on, that's NEXO. Actually, I wasn't looking at this one. Confusing this with something else. It's on 2 exchanges I don't trade, so we're not going to look at that one. See what else we have. Ontology, that's an oldie but goodie. Look at that one. It might be on my list. And it is not. It's on Binance, Bittrex, KuCoin. So yeah, it's not that hard to find. Bybit as well. Okay, it's been a while since I've traded this one. Let's clear this up a little bit. And go to the hour chart. So this one had a dump from last week, down about 13%. Recovered a lot of that, dipping again today. 5 minute. Looks like we just missed a dip sequence. 1, 2, 3. Didn't really do much though. Then dropped again, didn't quite dip enough for a 4th dip. Currently kind of squeezy and didn't really bounce out of that dip the way we like to see. 2% between the Bollinger Bands. We are just above short-term support, so I'm not sure if there's much value. You could put a price alert down here around 20.236 and see if it bounces out of that dip sequence. Otherwise, let's go to our 15-minute chart. And if you want to be more cautious over the weekend with potential lower volume, go in with smaller amounts and maybe go to your 30-minute chart. I'm gonna go to 15 for now. And as you know, I like the indicator alerts, got my divergence here. Talked about divergence many times. It's essentially a disagreement between the price action and the indicators. Bearish divergence is when the price action goes, excuse me. See, I just had a little, a little lapse in memory. Bullish divergence is when the price action goes down and the indicators go up, and then vice versa for bearish. So we had bearish divergence here on the 15-minute. Didn't really go up that much, or did pretty well eventually after going against us for a while. Then it dropped down here. That's a pretty good divergence there. 4% is a good day trade. Some of the bullish ones did pretty well here in the past. So actually all of these have done pretty well, 1% or more. This one here only went down. Yeah, that's 1%. So all these are pretty good. So you put an alert on divergence. Once per bar close, that's important. And AA is 70 something. And then click create and you're good to go. I think I might do this one. So what was the AA score? Ontology 78. And there we go. Another option, if you don't quite follow divergence or not quite sure what it is or not comfortable with it yet, you can use these indicators here. The RSI is really popular, relative strength index. MACD is another one that people use. Moving average convergence divergence. And the MFI is one of my favorite indicators, the money flow index. And what I like to do is try to catch these on rebounds. So So you can see each time it drops below and the oversold area, tends to come back up. Like this one here had a nice move up right after it dipped, 1.5%. It dipped again here and came back up. This one would have been, 2.6%. I usually trade these on leverage if possible. So I'd be on like 5 or 10x leverage. And that's how I like to do it. So an alert on the MFI or the RSI would be something like this. Add an alert crossing up. Put your 20 value in here, once per bar close, and AA 78, and you're good to go. I'll go ahead and stick with my divergence though. Okay, any questions with ontology? All right, let's see what else we can find. I was looking around earlier and we only have 10 Elder Impulse daily bullish coins. I mean, yeah, we've got over 200 AA scores. We've had the opposite problem most of the past few weeks. So quite frankly, it's easier to look at AA scores. And so that's mostly what we'll be looking at today. Another one with a good score is CELR, CELR. Let's check that one out. Okay, on the hour, get rid of these drawings. Kind of squeezy on the hour. Yeah, only 5% on the hour chart between the, but pretty well-defined range. Could just buy it down here at 0.01687. It's bounced off that level once, twice, 3 times in the past couple days. So then short it when you get up here around, 1.8 cents. So that would be one option. On the 5-minute chart, looks like we just missed a dip sequence. Squeeze bubble, 1, 2, 3. So would have gotten in here, unfortunately another dip and close to break even at the moment. So we'll see what comes of that, but we're too late for that dip sequence. So let's go to our alerts. And looks like the bearish ones have done pretty well. And the bullish ones have too. Maybe we'll see this pattern today on, yeah, we're getting close to 2% on each of these moves on divergence. So that might be the way to go today. Yeah, these are good stuff. And take the bearish divergence on the way down, 1.7. Yeah, good stuff. So I'm gonna do both of them. I can never remember the AA scores. 77.2. So I'm doing bullish and bearish on this one because of that range I just showed you. Now it'll probably break out of that range at some point, but so that's how I would handle that one. Our indicators. Let's look at the MACD. We don't look at that one as much. A lot of people like the MACD. I think it's too slow, but it is sometimes safer. than jumping in with the RSI or the MFI, which tend to be more sensitive. So like this one here, when the blue line crosses the orange line, that's a bullish signal. Plus we have these, these candles here on the histogram working their way up in a dark green instead of this like light green you see here. So a lot of traders like to get in right here at that cross, and see what happens. We had a MACD cross here. Got a decent movement, about 1.6%. That's a pretty good day trade. If you're shorting, the orange line crosses here. And 1.5%, that's a good day trade. So, you have to use other indicators usually to confirm, but the MACD can be a good option. And it'll catch some of these in between moves here that don't quite drop all the way, like this one on the MFI. It made it only broke through the, this bottom of the Bollinger Band once or twice and then shot up again, but it didn't break, the oversold area on 20 on the MFI, and it didn't quite make 30, on the RSI, but the MACD caught it right about here. So it's a little late, but still a pretty good entry point. Yeah, 2.4% to the top of the Bollinger Band on the 15-minute chart. It took a couple hours. That's a pretty good day trade. So any questions on CELR or the indicators or the MACD?
No, sir.
Was that no, sir? Or yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. All right, let's look at another one. We looked at 2 AA scores. Let's do some other sorts. Some people have been asking about this one lately, the 1 hour projected range. So NLG, I've never heard of that. It's got a crazy 1 hour projected range of 18%. According to Altcoin Alert, this is pretty much a can't miss. The lower is like 1%, the upper is 35%. Like, I'm curious about this. Let's check out NLG if I can find it on an exchange. Well, it's on Bittrex. That's about it. Wow, that's terrible volume. Yeah, and the volume's this low. Anybody buying it can really move the price. I can't recommend you guys trade something with volume like this. This is terrible. Okay. What else do we have here? Then we get these kind of huge discrepancies where the upper is 22%, the lower is 18% of a loss. This one's interesting. Bella Protocol. It's showing upper 2.3, lower 0.09. I've traded this one before. Let's look at Bell. See if that's on my list. No. Volume's looking kind of slim here. I'm seeing some on Binance, the world's biggest exchange. I'm seeing a few horizontal little lines, which usually means there's no trades. On the 5-minute, that's not terrible, but some choppy action here. Well, we're here. Let's check it out. We were up here around 73 cents, down nearly 14%, recovered a lot of it. Yeah, I covered about half of it. On the 5-minute chart, you've seen this pattern a few times. There's a third dip. 1, 2, 3. Actually, a fourth dip. Probably would have gotten in here. And 0.5%. Yeah, I'd be breaking even pretty much right now had I taken that trade. Okay, so I think we're too late. Alerts. Yeah, we're seeing a trend here. All these divergence alerts are looking pretty good. So yeah, this one here, 1%, stayed in longer. Yeah, you'd be down. So get in and get out. That's what we do as day traders anyway. 1%. 1%. Yeah, a lot of 1%ers here. But if you pile those up, you can increase that balance pretty quickly. Yeah, I think it's like either the divergence or the MFI alerts would be the best on this one. I don't think I would, the low volume concerns me, and I don't trade on Binance anymore, so probably not a trade I would take, but again, showing you this chart hopefully reinforces some of the things we talked about on the others. So any questions on this one? On Bell? Okay. I think that's about enough on that sort. And the last one we can do is the Elder Impulse. Yeah, I was looking at NEXO earlier. We'll go back to that. It's bullish on the daily and the long-term sentiment. Long-term sentiment is the, you just hover over here to see what it is. It's what people are talking about on Twitter. And the Elder Impulse Daily is a technical indicator. So when these line up, it's something I want to look at. Right. This was listed on Binance in April, up to $5. Not really even close since then. Over $1 now. I thought I saw something about this. It had had a really good move here, 36%. Gave most of that back, kind of in the middle now. On the 5. It's not really looking like all the other charts today. It's kind of a slow burn dip trade here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 dipper. Might have got in right about here. And then small profit, 1%. Okay, 15-minute chart. Let's look for alerts. And these haven't done as well. This one just went sideways. This one did the same, and then this last one did really well from yesterday. And on the, yeah, the MFI looks pretty much the same. The RSI is a little less sensitive. That avoided these entries and then gave us this one right about here. It did drop 4%, but then made a nice run. 4% profit in one day. That's a good day trade. So the RSI alert might be the way to go on this one. Yeah, quick recap. To put an alert on the RSI, right click, add an alert, crossing up on 30. Once per bar close, and it's Elder Impulse sort. So that's how you do that one. Any questions on NEXO? Let's take a quick look at the Fear and greed index.
CJ, quick question.
I gotta refresh. Sure, go ahead.
When you first brought up that chart, there were, and you said go to alerts. Are those alerts that you had set previously, or are those alerts that came through automatically from them?
No, I had to set them up.
Okay, that's what I
So-
thought. Thanks.
And that's a good thing to bring up because here's how you add alerts. This is the alert button here, or the indicator button. Or wait, do you want to? I was a little distracted looking at the fear and greed index. Were you asking about alerts or indicators?
The alerts, and I was just wondering when that chart came up, there's the red and the green alerts, and I wasn't sure if you had done that prior or if that was something they provided. That's all.
Okay, we're having a little semantics problem. These aren't alerts; these are indicators. So
Indicators. Okay.
that's fine. Let me show you how to do that real quick. I've shown. I don't always remember to show new people how to do this, so this is a good thing to review. Type in divergence, and this is the one I like here. Divergence from any indicators, version 4. There's a version 3 and 2 and 1. No, use version 4.
Okay.
And what I like about version 4 is it will trigger on the confirmation candle. So when you're looking at, say, bearish divergence, it's sort of going against the trend. When that red candle prints and you want to short, then the alert will go off unless it can repaint. So repainting means it will look to the right sometimes for new data and then move over. So you have to keep that in mind so you don't always get the perfect entries using this particular indicator, but it's really alert friendly. So that's why I like it. And
Okay,
most of the
great.
other divergence ones are not alert friendly.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, like I've got this one here too. Yeah, I can't really make a good comparison here. These are showing ones that aren't even triggered by that. So, divergence is somewhat left to interpretation sometimes. So different indicators may show you different divergences.
Thank you.
All right, and the others are pretty easy. RSI, it's this one here. That's from TradingView. MFI, also from TradingView, and MACD. Yeah, and sometimes people tinker with the values and add different things. Like this STC indicator is a better MACD. That's how it's advertised. That's one I've messed with before. But I don't really talk about it here. But these are the 4 I use for my core trading. And that's how you add indicators to your charts. And then like this is my basic chart. I've got other layouts too, but you can save this layout. There's different ways to do that. And I've got videos on how to save layouts and change them and things like that if you want to check that out. It's a
Okay.
little beyond the scope of this, what we're doing here, but I just sent an email to my list that has, Patrick did the update of all the videos I have. You can sort that.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can search that for key terms, how to, type in indicator or something like that, and it should come up.
Great.
All right. Any other questions? I think we're right at about a half an hour, so I'll throw this open to questions on the market overall, day trading, short-term swing trading, whatever you want to talk about. Or we'll just wrap it up here.
You were going to mention fear and greed.
Yes. Let's see, fear and greed. I did bring it up while I was talking
Thank
to
you.
Peter, but I didn't really talk about it. So yeah, that is over here. Oops, wrong one. All right, fear and greed index is, we're now in extreme fear, all the way down to 20. A week or so ago, we were close to 40. So that shows how the market has retraced back on down towards the end of the ranges that we've been talking about. Will 20K hold as a bottom for Bitcoin. That would be pretty cool if it did. Because 20K was, give or take a couple $100 was the top, was the resistance back 5 years ago when crypto had its first big move. Obviously it dropped with COVID and all those, well, 2018 and 19 and COVID, and then had the pump late 2020, 2021. So anyway, the point is probably be more useful to have this a longer term chart up to talk about that. Let's go to the monthly chart. Yeah, so that was this, where was that high? Yeah, it was around, oh, here it was. That was the high, and if that would be the support, I think that would justify a really nice move up in 2023, so we'll see. Okay. Anything else? Well, I will wrap this up here. If you're watching on the recording, I appreciate that. Please check out the opportunities listed below in the comments. They help support the channel. I will not do a Zoom on Monday night due to the
station alert has arrived.
Due to the Labor
Sorry.
Day holiday. That's okay. Kind of like that alert. That's
Bad weather.
can't miss that one. Oh, that's a weather alert, not a trading view alert.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
right.
I don't like that one as much. So anyway, where was I? Okay, wrapping this up. So have a great weekend. Have a good Labor Day. If you're in the US, I guess you can have a good Labor Day if you're not in the US too. So, and if you're in Carbon, stick around. We'll start that Zoom in a couple minutes. See you next time.